My name is Lina. I am 22 years old. For many years, my home was not a house. It was the street of a big, noisy city. Every morning, people passed me like wind. Some looked at me with pity. Some looked away in fear. Most of them did not see me at all. To them, I was invisible. At night, I slept near a small bus station. The floor was hard, the air was cold. Sometimes the wind touched my skin like ice. During the day, the sun burned my face. My lips were always dry. My stomach was often empty. In the morning, I sold small flowers near traffic lights. In the evening, I cleaned car windows for a few coins. Some days I ate, some days I did not. But even in hunger, I had one dream inside my heart. Not money, not big houses, just a normal life, a small room, a warm bed, and someone who, one rainy afternoon, everything changed. The sky was gray. Cars rushed like angry water. People ran with umbrellas, hiding from the rain. I was standing near a tall glass building. My shoes were broken and wet. Rain mixed with dust on my face. My hair stuck to my skin. I felt tired, invisible, forgotten. Then suddenly, a black car stopped near me. The door opened slowly. A man stepped out. He was tall. He wore a dark suit. His shoes were clean and shining. His face looked calm, but his eyes were tired, like he carried many thoughts. He looked at me, not with pity, not with fear, with curiosity. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. No one had asked me that in years. I nodded, even though I wasn't. He looked at the flowers in my shaking hand. "How much?" $2, I whispered. He took all of them. Then he gave me a big note. "This is too much," I said. He smiled lightly. "Keep it. You need it more than I do." That moment, for the first time in my life, someone spoke to me like a human, not like trash. His name was Adrian. He was the CEO of the big company inside that glass building. Before leaving, he asked something that touched my soul. "Do you have a place to sleep tonight?" I slowly shook my head. He stayed quiet for a second. Rain fell between us. Then he said, "Come with me." I was scared. The street teaches fear, but something in his voice felt safe. First, he took me to a small cafe. Warm light, hot food. When the plate came, my hands were shaking. I ate slowly, then fast, then cried quietly. He did not stare, he did not judge, he just waited. After that, he found a small room near his office. A real room. A door. A bed. He paid for 1 month. "This is not charity," he said. "It's a chance." That night, I touched the bed again and again to believe it was real. Then I cried into the pillow, not from sadness, from safety. From that day, my life began to change. Adrian helped me get a cleaning job in his company. The first day, people stared at me. My clothes were cheap. My English was weak. My hands still shook when I worked. But I never stopped. Every morning I came early. Every evening I left late. Sometimes my back hurt. Sometimes my eyes burned. But my heart felt alive. Adrian noticed. One day in the hallway, he stopped me. "Lina," he said, "do you want to study?" I looked at him in shock. "I don't have money," I replied. He smiled gently. "You have effort. That is better." He paid for my night classes, English, computers, business basics, day for work, night for study. I was tired, but happy. Months passed. My hair became neat. My clothes became clean. My eyes stopped looking afraid. Adrian and I talked more, not CEO and worker, but two people. Sometimes coffee, sometimes silence. One evening, he asked about my past. I told him everything. My parents, their death, running away, the streets becoming my home. He listened. No interruption, no judgment. Then he said softly, "You are strong, Lina. Stronger than you think." Those words stayed inside my heart. One rainy night after work, we stood under the office roof. Rain fell again like the first day. He looked at me and said, "When I met you, you looked broken. Now you look alive." My heart beat faster. He moved closer, not forced, not fast. And then he kissed me. Soft, warm, real. For the first time in my life, I felt chosen. People talked. "The street girl," they whispered. "What is she doing here?" But Adrian did not care. He promoted me because of work, not love. I became his assistant. Emails, meetings, travel. Some managers hated me. They said I used him, but they never saw my late night books, my tired eyes, my shaking fingers. One night at a rich dinner, I felt small. Adrian held my hand and said, "Stand straight, you belong here." And for the first time, I believed it. Months later, he asked softly, "Lina, will you be my wife?" Tears fell. "Are you sure?" I asked. He smiled. "I am more sure than ever." We married quietly. No noise, no cameras, just love. Today, I wake up in a big house. Coffee near the window, soft light on my face. But inside me, the street girl still lives. And I smile. Because sometimes life changes not by luck, but by one human moment of kindness. Marriage did not change my past, but it changed the way people looked at me. After becoming Adrian's wife, the world suddenly felt closer and farther at the same time. Our house was big, white walls, large windows, quiet rooms. But sometimes silence is louder than the street. In the mornings, Adrian left early for meetings. I stayed near the window, holding coffee, watching cars move fast below. Once I used to stand there in the rain, selling flowers. Now I watch from above. Life felt strange, beautiful but heavy. At Adrian's company, people smiled at me, but their eyes were different. Some were kind, some were jealous, some were cold. Behind my back, whispers still lived. "She married him for money. She is lucky, not smart. She came from the streets." Every word touched my heart like small needles. I tried to ignore them, but the street inside me remembered everything. One day in the office, a senior manager named Clara called me. She wore expensive perfume. Her voice was sweet, but her smile was sharp. "Lina," she said, "you are very lucky." I smiled politely. "Yes, I am grateful." She leaned closer. "Not everyone can go from street to CEO's wife." Her words burned quietly. I looked at her and said softly, "I didn't walk from the street. I worked from it." She paused, then smiled again, but her eyes were no longer friendly. That night, I told Adrian. He listened quietly. People always listen differently when they love you. "Do they hurt you?" he asked. "Sometimes," I replied. "Not with hands, with words." He held my fingers. "Lina, the world is afraid of people who change their destiny." His words felt warm, but fear still lived inside me. A few weeks later, Adrian asked me to travel with him. Business trip, new city, new people. I packed slowly. In my bag, I kept something strange. My old broken shoes. From the street. Not because I needed them, but because I never wanted to forget. The hotel was tall and shining. People wore suits and dresses. They spoke fast English. They laughed loudly. At the meeting table, I sat beside Adrian. My hands were calm now, but inside my heart ran. A foreign investor looked at me and asked, "And you, Mrs. Adrian, what is your role in the company?" The room became quiet. Old Lina wanted to hide. New Lina stood up. "I started as a cleaner," I said. "I studied at night. I became an assistant. Now I manage operations with my husband." Some people looked surprised, some impressed. Adrian smiled. I felt strong, but strength always meets a test. One evening in the hotel lobby, a woman approached Adrian. She was beautiful, confident, wearing red. She hugged him. "Adrian, long time." I stood behind, invisible again. He introduced us. "Lina, this is Sophia, my ex-business partner." Sophia looked at me slowly, from head to toe. "So this is the girl," she said lightly. "Girl, not woman, not wife, just girl." She smiled. "You are lucky," she added. I smiled back. "Luck needs courage too." She raised her eyebrow, but said nothing. Later that night, fear came back to me. In the hotel room, I asked Adrian, "Do you ever regret meeting me?" He looked shocked. "Why would you ask that?" I sat on the bed. "Because sometimes I still feel temporary, like I don't belong in your world." He walked closer. He knelt in front of me. He held my face. "Lina, you are not in my world." He smiled softly. "You are my world." Tears fell, not from pain, from belief. The next morning, something unexpected happened. At the meeting, documents were missing. Important files. People panicked. Someone whispered, "Only Lina had access last night." The room became cold. Clara's voice appeared on the screen call. "Maybe she made a mistake," she said slowly. "Or maybe she took them." My heart dropped. Old street fear returned. Adrian stood up. "That's enough," he said. He looked at everyone. "If Lina wanted to steal, she wouldn't work every night." He turned to me. "Lina, tell them." My voice shook, but I spoke. "I stayed late, yes, but I copied files for backup, not to hide them." Then suddenly, the IT manager ran inside. "Sir, the files were moved automatically to cloud backup." Silence. People looked down. Clara's face froze on screen. Adrian looked at me, proud. That day, they stopped seeing me as a street girl. They saw me as a professional. After returning home, life felt different. People respected me more, but respect is heavy too. One evening, I went alone to the old bus station where I once slept. The place smelled the same: cold wind, noise. A young girl sat there hugging her knees. She looked like my past. I sat beside her. "Are you okay?" I asked softly. She looked scared, then nodded. "Not really." I smiled gently. "I was here once too." "You were? Like me?" I nodded. She whispered, "How did you escape?" I touched her hand. "I didn't escape. Someone believed in me, and I believed in myself." I gave her money. My number, Hope. As I walked away, I realized something. My story was not finished. It was starting again, through others. That night, Adrian asked, "Where were you?" "At the bus station," I replied. He paused. "Why?" I smiled softly, "Because the street still needs Lina." He hugged me, and for the first time, I didn't feel small beside him. I felt equal. Sometimes love is not just romance. It is respect, trust, growth. I was no longer just a girl from the street. I was Lina, a woman who learned that pain can become power and kindness can build a future. Life became calm after the storm, but calm life also brings new fears. After people started respecting me in the company, something inside me changed. I was no longer scared of the world. I was scared of losing it. Adrian worked more, meetings, travel, late nights. Sometimes we sat in the same room, but felt far. Love is beautiful, but love also needs time. One evening, I waited for him with dinner. The food became cold. The clock moved. Finally, he came. Tired, silent. "How was your day?" I asked. He removed his coat slowly. "Busy." Only one word. I felt pain, but smiled. Street Lena learned one thing early: don't complain too much. But wife Lena wanted to talk. "Adrian, do you still see me the same way?" He looked surprised. "What do you mean? Before you looked at me. Now you look through me." Silence stayed between us. Then he sighed. "Lena, I'm scared." "Of what?" I asked. "Of losing you to success. You're growing fast. Sometimes I feel you don't need me anymore." His words shocked me. I walked closer. "Adrian, I didn't rise to leave you. I rose to stand beside you." His eyes softened. He held my hands, and in that moment we remembered why we chose each other. But life still had one last test. One morning, a letter came from the past, from the city shelter. It said, "A woman claiming to be your aunt is searching for you." My heart stopped. Family, pain, fear. That night, I couldn't sleep. Adrian noticed. "Do you want to meet her?" he asked. "I'm afraid," I whispered. "What if she wants money? What if she destroys what I built?" He smiled gently. "Lena, you are not the street girl anymore. You are the woman who survived it." We went together. The shelter smelled old. Memories returned. A woman sat there, small, wrinkled, tired eyes. She looked at me and cried. "Lena." My legs froze. She was my mother's sister. She told me everything: how she searched for me, how she failed, how guilt followed her. "I don't want your money," she said. "I just wanted to see if you were alive." Tears filled my eyes. For years I felt alone. Now someone from my blood remembered me. I hugged her, and in that hug, my past finally stopped hurting. After that day, I felt complete. Not rich, not powerful, complete. One evening, Adrian and I sat near the window. Rain fell again, just like the first day. He smiled. "Do you remember when I bought your flowers?" I laughed softly. "Yes, you paid too much." He laughed. "And you were scared of me." "I was scared of the world," I replied. He looked at me seriously. "Lena, you changed my life too." I looked at him. "How?" "You reminded me that success means nothing if you forget humanity." We held hands, two broken stories making one strong future. Today, I wake up in peace. Coffee near the window, soft sunlight on my face, but in my heart, the street still lives. Not as pain, as power. Because I learned something important. You don't need to be born rich to become valuable. You don't need perfect past to build a perfect future. Sometimes all it takes is one human moment of kindness and the courage to never give up. My name is Lina, and this is not a love story. It is a survival story. It is a hope story. It is my story. If Lina's story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope today. And if you love emotional, real-life stories, make sure to subscribe to the channel. because every story here is not just entertainment, it's a lesson of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.